Hey everybody, Dr. Baker here. Listen, I was wondering, because there's never this wow, really coordinated type of thing that goes on in the world unless somebody's behind it. And the reason why people get behind things is usually because they're going to make more money. So I've been asking myself, how do they make more money by doing the climate change? And my initial thought was somebody's invested in batteries or electric cars or whatever, and they just want to see that blow up. And I was right, but what I figured out was really the connection. And so ESG is environmental social governance. Environmental social governance. Now listen, this is something that's literally just made up bullshit. Just make it up. Because when they just make something up, they can make a ton of money off it. Now who is they? First of all, you have to understand that to walk down this path with me over the next 4 to 5 minutes, you have to understand that there is an elite group of people that run the world. There's not necessarily there's a Chinese government and an American government. No. They're all like best friends. They all work together. The goal is to crash the United States, ruin the United States, because the United States ideally is the one that stands in the way of having a one world order, one world government, one world currency, all the other crap that everybody would benefit from that's up here, right? So what they do is they just create new terms. They just create new things that you have to follow, otherwise you're outed. So a guy named Larry Fink is the CEO of what's called BlackRock. BlackRock, if you're not familiar with it, maybe you've been living under a BlackRock. Anyway, so that company, BlackRock, has $10 trillion of assets under management. Here's what that means. That means that they control the board of just about every big company. So when they say, hey, we want you to do this, and if you don't start putting rainbows, unicorns, and queer flags in your front window, then you get replaced and someone else gets put on the board, you lose your job. So they literally have the control over most all companies. Now, if it's not Blackstreet or BlackRock, it's State Street or Vanguard, etc. The point is that these top corporations, these top money management things, they control the corporations because they're the ones that have all this money in management, which means they say to you and me, I know we're not investing in BlackRock, but they say to you and me, hey, I think you should put your money into this type of stock instead of this type of stock, and they can control the decision of where money gets spent, which means that they can literally put a company out of business if they wanted to, or they can prop it up and make it be what everybody invests in. All of a sudden, money's coming out of nowhere. Maybe you've seen that with, say, the new little Indian fellow that's running for president. Comes out of nowhere, gets a ton of money from these guys. Weird. Anyway, so they even get to a point where they're now creating ESG EFTs. And ESG EFT an EFT is a group of stocks or a group of companies that you invest in, so it levels out the risk, because if one of them sucks and the rest of them are good, you're still good. So Larry Fink starts talking about this because what he's doing, he's literally creating a new investment vehicle for the people that he manages money for. He's created a new situation where I can literally, based upon what we say and what we push in the media, I can determine whether or not this company is going to grow exponentially or shrink. It's like they have their own little crystal ball and they can literally tell the future because they manipulate every single person in the industry and they bully them around in order to follow what they want. So environmental part of the ESG. The environmental part is we have to do everything green, whether that means we keep starting fires everywhere until you obey, right? Or we just make up some stupid shit like the North Pole is melting or whatever, even though no one's ever been there. And so then what will happen is they put all their money into solar panels, battery cars, renewable energy. And so do you if you're A, managing with them, or B, you see what's coming. And if you don't want to be a part of it, maybe you want to put some money into renewable energy because that's where the beast is moving. Anyway, so then all of a sudden, like magic, it just does this, and everybody that they manage money for, money grows, and they become $20 trillion instead of 10. You get the point? Then social, listen, this is where would you please comment, other than tearing apart the family unit, other than taking our focus away from what really matters, other than making us fight amongst each other, why do they want the social aspect of it. And keep in mind, all this stuff looks really pretty on the surface. Like, you need to be inclusive and let everybody have a job here. Okay, cool. Like, I want everybody to have the same rights too, but it doesn't mean that I hire a African-American gay man over a white male who has better credentials. Like, that doesn't make sense either. Like, people should be hired based upon how good they can do a job, and they should be available to everybody. But anyway, so on surface level, they make it really pretty. Behind the scenes, they're pushing this gay agenda, the LGBTQRSTYZ, whatever. So my question for you is, other than ruining the United States, which the United States has to crumble in order for the rest of the world to become one, why exactly is that the second part of the governance? I get the environmental, right? I got a ton of money in that. I don't know that I can necessarily invest in people getting sex changes and switching out vaginas for penises. I don't know that I can necessarily make a lot of money in that. So why is the S so important in the governance? So that's what ESG is. And it's literally gotten to a point where it's a way that companies are supposed to operate, hire people, fire people, and promote themselves in order to be allowed to continue to grow. And it determines whether or not we would invest in a company. Are they ESG compliant? I hope this helps. And again, please comment why the S. Population control, okay? Again, that's bringing down the United States. That's creating a kill everybody except for the ones that they think matter. Keep it coming, please. I want to hear everything you have to say about this. Don't forget about the breast cancer seminar coming up. We're going to have links soon. You can sign up for an in-person seat or virtual anywhere in the world. Love you guys. See you around.